Coming up on this week's episode of Hip Hop Now podcast, Cameron sues J. Cole over a broken contract. Jay-Z said he's untouchable in a Verzuz, but he said this about 3 or 4 years ago. And my review of Big L's new album, Harlem's Finest, Return of the King. We're going to talk about it. Let's go.
Welcome to Hip Hop Now podcast. If you're from the future, you know what to do. Get your ass out of here. Don't disrespect the legend. Hip hop is here to stay. Let's get right into the business.
What up, y'all? I am your host, Vegas, and this is Hip Hop Now podcast, a podcast specifically designed to keep you caught up on all things hip hop, music, and culture that happened throughout the week. Big shout out to those who have been listening in audio form for what is getting close to a decade. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's getting close to a decade. And also those who are new to the audio side of things, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to get your podcast listening. Appreciate you. Review on Apple Podcasts, please. And also a big shout out to those who are watching right here on YouTube at Hip Hop Now Pod. The goal is to get to 25,000 subscribers, which is dope. Right now we're at 21,000 subscribers. So if you like this content, if you feel like you love this content, this type of hip hop talk about hip hop, not arrest, not things like that, right? Not who got divorced, unless it's interesting. I appreciate the support here, and also think about becoming a member of this channel. And what does a member get you? Well, there's certain episodes, including bonus episodes, that are available to you as a member because you support the podcast. And if you don't know what memberships are all about on YouTube, just click the link in the description of this episode. You can see what it's all about. You can read about it and you can make your decision. But that is not the only way to support. Let me just say proceeds that I receive from anybody, member, one-time, CashApp, whatever you are, go right back into the production of this podcast in the form of equipment, software, and even advertising, right? Like I will combine your dollars with my dollars to advertise this podcast so more people like you and me discover it. You get it? So with that being said, let's just get all the intros and stuff out the way. Let's get right. Well, hold up. I'm rushing myself. Big shout out to hiphopdx.com. Okay, I got a couple of new people on here. Let me just look at your name real quick. musictimes.com, as well as hotnewhiphop.com for providing some of the information from some of these stories. But without further ado, let's get right into the business. Right at the top, Cameron sues J. Cole over a song called Ready 24, in which Cameron appeared. It was on the Might Delete Later, which kind of deleted himself later, from the battle. You know that battle, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole saying, I'm going to take it on the chin, whatever he said, man. Like, come on. Damn it, J. Cole. I like J. Cole. But the suit is, Cameron has claimed that he's owed $500K. Now, according to TMZ, the Dipset legend has filed a lawsuit against the Dreamville star, claiming that he appeared on Cole's Might Delete Later track in exchange for either a guest verse or an appearance on his popular YouTube sports show, It Is What It Is. This is coming from Hip Hop DX, by the way. In the 2 years since the song was recorded, however, Killer Cam alleges that Cole has yet to fulfill their agreement and has repeatedly rejected his request to record a collaboration or be a guest on his aforementioned show. The Harlem native is seeking monetary compensation for his contributions to the Ready 24, asking a judge to legally declare him the co-author of the song so he can receive his fair share of its proceeds. Cam is demanding a full accounting of the song's earnings and estimates that he is owed at least $500K. Neither Cameron nor J. Cole have yet to publicly comment on the lawsuit. All right, so let's clear the dummies out. There are a lot of people who love social media and the internet because it allows them to be the ignorant people they are. Now, don't look at that as just an insult. Some people are really proud to not know. They prefer to not know because it feeds a feeling, right? And it's usually a negative feeling. So they can, express that in regards to whoever it may be, because there's something not right with their own lives, right? That's where it's just, you're just channeling, you're just projecting. Now, why would I say all of that when we're talking about suing? Well, that's because a lot of people look at this as not hip hop to sue. But what they don't know is suing has been happening well before Drake did it. Example, you can go back to not even that long, but you can go on YouTube and just like search for Nori complaining, damn near crying about being sued by another rapper or whoever within the music industry. And he's hesitant to talk about it because, you can't talk about litigation in some instances unless you're a dummy. And this is like what, late 90s, I think, when this is happening. So suing is a thing. Now, the difference between Drake's suing for defamation of character for lyrics in a battle rap. That's not hip hop. Because never in the history of hip hop battle rap has the person who lost filed a suit because of what was said. Or even the person that won. Like, because if it's a back and forth, it's a part of a battle to say things that in some cases aren't true, or to defame the other guy. That's what battle rap is. You're doing what the sport of battle rap requires. And Drake is no different. That's what makes his lawsuit seem stupid. From a man who says, I study battle rap. He can't even keep up with himself. The Cameron thing is a breach of contract. This is totally different. Some would say, oh, diss him. What kind of broke answer is that? They are in the business. I don't care how dope you feel your favorite MC is. They get a check to do it. They're not, rest in peace, Sean Price. Sean Price wasn't just rhyming on the corner, just like I'm the illest guy. I just want to give off my art and my energy. No, Sean Price was getting a check too. He could say he broke his rapper alive, but he ain't do no free shows. It's a business, man. And when you're contractually obligated or a handshake or whatever it is, the assumption is that you're going to honor that contract. And a contract, so to speak, of this nature, where it's like, Cole, give me a verse, like I gave you a verse. Or just hop on my show. Now, I can understand J. Cole not wanting to go on the show. I can understand him ghosting that. When you can just really say, we don't want to do that. The answer has been J. Cole is not available, right? I can understand that because, unfortunately, every time J. Cole pops out on the beach with sneakers on, people are talking about him. Every time he drops a song or whatever, people are talking about him. And it's all roads lead back to the battle because how it ended for him. And it's almost as if he can't shake it and get started and move to the next thing. Now, sidebar, J. Cole, if you're finding that every time you drop a record, all people say is you quit, shut up, we don't want to hear from you, you got to call Kenny. You got to call Kung Fu Kenny. You got to call Gay Dot. You got to call Kendrick Lamar and say, brother, I need your help. Okay? They won't listen to me when I come out and talk about the battle, apologize about the battle, say I'm moving on from the battle. But if you collaborate with me, they won't be able to say anything. Some will say, like, look at him. But nobody will pay attention to them because they will just be happy that the universe is normal again. No more beef. But regarding Cameron, I get why J. Cole wouldn't want to go on the show because I don't want to. How are you not going to ask me about that? Like, I know it's a sports show, but what people want to hear won't be who J. Cole thinks is going to the finals. They'll want to hear, where you been? What happened with the battle? What was your real thought? Blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't want to answer that. So give him a verse, man. Give him a verse. Give him a verse you already have. And some people might say, well, maybe he don't want to talk about it. You don't have to talk about it. Also, J. Cole does a lot of features. So why aren't you giving Cam a feature? So it's one of two things. For one, it's not against hip hop that Cameron is suing after he let a grace period of time pass of pursuing J. Cole. See, he didn't go straight to litigation when he didn't get his money. He kept making attempts to make right on that agreement. And J. Cole is not available. So either you're going to become available or you're going to pay. Or you're going to, or give me the verse, whatever. And who knows? Again, both haven't said anything publicly, which could mean they're speaking privately. And sometimes when this information hits the public eye and these guys are more concerned with their image, then maybe J. Cole is available now. Now that everybody knows, maybe you're available now. So we'll see. Next. So there was like a whole story that popped up recently about Jay-Z saying he was untouchable in a Verzuz. We know we're coming off the Cash Money Records and No Limit Verzuz, so everybody's kind of back in mode again as fans. And somehow comments that Jay-Z said about 3 or 4 years ago are back, and people are arguing about it as if he just said it. But he did. Said it a long time ago. Because I remember Future being one of those people who said, I could compete with Jay. Now, this is what Jay-Z meant by that as far as being untouchable. His catalog, stamina, and live performance presence would make a 2-hour versus battle effectively unwinnable for any opponent. Now, what does the church say? I say he lied. Can I get an amen? Okay. Now, there are not many that can compete. And maybe that's what the quote from 3 to 4 years ago from Jay-Z should have been. But there are people who can compete. Now, obviously, when it comes to crowds, it depends on the crowd, right? Like, you may have a crowd that's there for Jay-Z, right? And loves Jay-Z, but will they like Eminem because Eminem could compete with Jay, right? He has the catalog, right? Even though it might be the first 3 albums, but he got enough, right? And the soundtrack. He has the stage presence. He has the stamina, right? But maybe the content would make people feel like, well, I don't mess with Eminem, or I don't like what he said, or that didn't age well. I'm with Jay-Z. Okay, cool. Nas. Just start with either. Now, I'm just playing, but you know what I'm saying? Nas has a catalog. He can have 20 joints. He can have the presence. He's actually a better performer than Jay-Z, if you ask me. Jay-Z has become better over the years, and so has Nas. But I think Nas, having seen Nas recently, I think Nas edges him because his stage show is more than just the songs driving the entertainment, if you know what I mean, right? Like, you had a show Jay-Z do your favorite song like You Don't Know. It don't matter what he say. The minute to turn my music high, it's the song that's driving it. He doesn't really have to do much anymore today to make that performance great because that song was already great. And even when that song was out back in the days, trust me, I've seen Jay-Z a million times back in the days. I ain't talking about you new fans who Black Album and forward. I'm talking about from before Reasonable Doubt forward. And there was a time where all he did was point at you the whole time. That's all he did. Was point at you. Why does my phone like sound like it's loose? But you know what I'm saying? And Nas would have 1,000 dudes on stage and was kind of yelling and cuffing the mic. Both are better performers, but Nas can match Jay-Z. And my last pick, you know, the GOAT, LL Cool J. He got the catalog. He has it. And expands decades. And decades where Jay-Z was out and decades where Jay-Z was not out as an artist. Get what I'm saying? In Jay-Z's heyday, LL got hits. Before Jay-Z even got on, LL got hits. He has the stage presence. Have you ever seen LL perform? He outperforms all the guys I just mentioned because he comes from an era where it's not just rapping, it's a lot of movement. It's a lot of presentation. Those guys don't move the way the way LL moves because LL kind of comes from a different era where they worked on that. 90s cats it was just more about what they were saying and the beats. And some of them had to develop some level of stage presence. But most of theirs is coming from what they say. You know, LL is like spinning and probably got the one leg, pants leg up. But it's a show. You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with Jay-Z's comments from 3 to 4 years ago. But I would love to see it. I just don't think it would ever happen because if it was to happen, as far as like hype and selling an event, it has to be Jay-Z and Nas. Just because of the battle, just because of the eras. It would be dope to see Jay-Z and LL. In some ways, they kind of overlap with the type of music. But because people just know Jay-Z versus Nas, Jay-Z and Nas, they're like eternally linked because of a battle. That would be huge. I would watch. I might go. No, I'm not going. But I might watch for sure. So I don't know. Oh, do you think is Jay-Z untouchable in a Verzuz? Name some people in the comment section who you think could also compete on those same levels of stamina and catalog and live performance. Because some of us can come up with a few, and Future says he got the catalog and stamina and live performance also. So we'll see. And lastly, so we've been following along with this Mass Appeal. What is it? 7 Legends, 7 Icons release of albums. And so far we got Slick Rick, Raekwon, Ghostface, and then Mobb Deep. And so far, it's been more good than bad, to be honest. I don't think any of it's bad, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Slick Rick's project. I understood what the mission was. I just didn't necessarily like everything I heard. So it's the lowest on the totem pole for me. But now, on Halloween, which is today, and if you're from the future, you've already had Halloween. Get your ass out of here, okay? But one thing that was interesting to me is that we knew Big L's album was on the way. And then it was announced that it was Halloween. And then we got a lead single with Nas. What is it? You Ain't Got a Chance. With a video that was like vintage. And I was feeling the vibe of it. was nostalgic. Um, and then it's like Halloween, his album is dropping and it's here. So if you know how I do reviews, I give 3 listens for my reviews. The first listen is just my impressions. I just let it ride. Whatever happens, happen. The second listen is to like really listen intently, kind of figure out what the intent of this project was, what they've done, you know what I'm saying, as far as production, concepts, bars, whatever. And then the last listen is to confirm my thoughts. And for those who need quick reviews, I would say this album from Big L it's all right. It's okay. It's fine. That's what it is. So, features on the album, which there are a lot, include McGruff, Nas, Errol Holden. I have no idea who that is, y'all. Method Man, Novel, Mac Miller, Jay-Z, which is that freestyle, Joe Budden talking, not rapping. I thought he was going to be rapping. Joey Badass is on here. Showbiz, uh, and I'm not gonna name everybody. I just want to say this one, Party Artie. You know, if you run the '90s, you know Party Artie. You know it. You know, but it's 16 tracks coming in around 40 minutes, and what I feel about this album is I feel like this is a continuation of the big picture. So if you're looking for a Big L album like his debut album, that's not what this is. This is more like when he passed and they put out that album, The Big Picture, which had features and some of his freestyles were turned into songs and some of the freestyles were available. Also, it's that. So that should be your expectations. Now, I know some people love The Big Picture, and the thing is this is a continuation. It's not a competitor. It's a continuation of what was that. And I think that if you go into it, haven't heard The Big Picture, then you will understand what this album is. You can grade it on that scale. And me doing that, and someone who grew up in the 90s listening to hip hop, listening to Big L in real time when he was alive, the Stretch and Bobbito freestyles, like him emerging from his contract, I guess, with Columbia, to start doing all these dope freestyles and talking about Flamboyant. Then unfortunately he was murdered. And then The Big Picture comes out, and you know, songs like Ebonics are on there and stuff like that. Like Big L was building to something because he was always nice. So when you hear this album, it's just a reminder, and it's a trip down memory lane for those of us who were around. Now, some people may be disappointed because they kind of wanted an album, but the man has been gone for a long time, and this album is an indication of if there is an album, Sony ain't releasing it. And if there isn't, well, he did a bunch of freestyles and had a couple of starter verses here and there. Now, I will say on this album, the lead track, which I love, I think is dope. Honestly, I like it better than the joint with Nas, Harlem Universal with McGruff. I really feel like I heard that before. If you know where, leave your comments in the comment section below, whether it appeared on a mixtape or whatever. But I feel like I really heard that before. And McGruff even says, you know, when it was recorded and blah, blah, blah. But it's pretty dope. And I like the beat. Big L don't miss on any of his verses. Not one on this project. So it's up to the features to meet him at his level. And I think some of them do, including McGruff. One of the tracks that, well, let me say this first. Method Man told the story, I think, on Drink Champs about Big L selling him wet. You go look that up. I ain't gonna talk about it. But which was a crazy revelation. But at the same time, Method Man's on this album. Method Man bars are crazy. Okay, Method Man bars are crazy on here. Like, it was perfect. It was a perfect combination of these two together. But there was another. Wait, is it gone now? Hold up, because I know I just read it. Right, I read Mac Miller. Oh, there it is. A song called "Forever" featuring Mac Miller. Now, I know there are people who felt like, yo, L would have never rocked with him. If Sean Price rocked with Mac Miller, you don't know. Maybe you knew him, but somebody like Big L never had the chance to even listen to a Mac Miller. Because personality aside, he could have respected him as an MC. Now, I've said things about Mac Miller when he was alive, and maybe Big L would have felt like me. But for whatever reason, Mac Miller's on here, and when I tell you, relax. The song is dope, and it fits. I never thought like, damn, why they put him on? He don't sound like he would be on here. Now, there is one gripe, and I get it. I get if you look at the Mac Miller feature and be like, nah. And it's driven by the fact that, where's OC? DITC. Showbiz is here, but where's OC? That's my thing. Where's OC? Him and Big L had a very tight relationship as MCs, especially MCs a part of the Digging in the Crates crew. McGruff is here, but that's Children. What is it? Children of the Corn, whatever. With McGruff. For those who don't know, McGruff, Big L, Murder Mace, Cam, and Bloodshed. That was dope to open like with that Children of the Corn opening basically. But it's not enough DITC here for me. And if it's not Lord Finesse, and I'm not saying Lord Finesse want to even write anything, but if it's not Lord Finesse, it got to be OC, like one of the two. But all in all, considering there's some classic freestyles here from Stretch and Bobbito, especially the 7-minute joint featuring Jay-Z, which is dope because Jay-Z probably had to clear that joint to be on here. It's dope to hear that. It's nice and cleaned up. You get to hear when Jay-Z used to rap like the Fushnikins. Don't try that. That first verse was fire, but that second verse is like, what are you saying, Jay? That's how we felt. That's how I felt back in the days. I was like, get this garbage out of here. But overall, it's a very good project, right? And don't think of it like this, because I know I read my demographics for my show. My show has an older audience, typically people who are right under me in age, and absolutely my generation and above. We all kind of were around for Big L. We all kind of were around for freestyles on the mixtapes. We probably heard between the Big Picture and this album, we probably heard most of the stuff before it was put into albums. So you're not really going to impress us by repackaging it. But it's not for you. It's not for me. It's for new fans. It's for those who don't know who Big L is. And not everybody who's a new hip hop head knows who everyone is or know enough. Maybe that 7-minute freestyle is I heard that on YouTube. I thought it was ill, but I never really dove into Big L's music. That's what this is for. That's what the Big Picture's for. It's really like, this guy was amazing. Here's his work. Check it out. So with that said, I think it's okay album. It's okay. I don't think it's best of the year. I think it's nice to have. But it's not one of my top albums. And in a lot of ways for the reasons I mentioned regarding my generation. So what do you think of the new Harlem's Finest Big L album? Leave your review in the comment section below right here on YouTube. Become a subscriber today. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2025. So make it happen. think about becoming a member. Again, if you want detailed information about what a member of Hip Hop Now Pod on YouTube is, the link to your questions or the answers are in the description of this episode. Follow me on everything else, social media at Vegas World INC on all platforms. And please remember, I am not a critic. I'm a fan. Peace.